Welcome to Con Breakdown. Today, we uncover the fascinating story of Charles Ponzi, a journey of ambition, deception, and the birth of a notorious financial scheme. In the annals of financial history, few figures loom as large and enigmatic as Charles Ponzi, a man whose name became synonymous with deception and financial ruin. Born in the quaint Italian town of Lugo in 1882, Ponzi's journey from humble beginnings to international notoriety is a saga teeming with ambition, intrigue, and ultimately, downfall. Settle in as we embark on a captivating odyssey through the life and times of Charles Ponzi, a man whose legacy continues to reverberate through the corridors of financial history, origins, and ambitions. In the sun-kissed fields of Lugo, nestled amidst the picturesque landscapes of Italy, young Charles Ponzi was born into a world brimming with dreams and aspirations. From an early age, he exhibited a precocious intellect and an insatiable hunger for success. Yet, beneath the veneer of ambition lay the seeds of discontent, as Ponzi yearned for a life beyond the confines of his provincial surroundings. As he gazed longingly at the horizon, Ponzi envisioned a future imbued with opulence and grandeur, a vision that would propel him on a journey spanning continents and centuries. The Odyssey begins. At the tender age of 21, Ponzi bid farewell to his native Italy and embarked on a voyage across the Atlantic, his pockets lined with just two $50 bills. With the promise of the American dream beckoning him forth, Ponzi set sail for the land of opportunity. Arriving in the bustling metropolis of America, Ponzi soon found himself ensnared in the tumultuous whirlwind of immigrant life. Tasked with the arduous challenge of making ends meet, he toiled tirelessly in a myriad of menial jobs, his dreams of prosperity fading like distant echoes in the wind. Yet, amidst the relentless onslaught of adversity, Ponzi remained undeterred, his resolve unyielding in the face of adversity. However, the road to success was fraught with peril, and Ponzi soon found himself entangled in a web of deceit and intrigue that would forever alter the course of his destiny. The temptation of fraud. It was during his sojourn in Montreal that Ponzi's moral compass veered perilously off course, lured by the seductive allure of ill-gotten gains. Employed at a local bank, embroiled in nefarious dealings, Ponzi found himself drawn into a world of deception and duplicity, his conscience clouded by the tantalizing promise of wealth beyond measure. As the tendrils of corruption tightened their grip around him, Ponzi succumbed to the siren song of fraud, the genesis of a scheme. Returning to Boston, Ponzi found himself at a crossroads, his dreams of success overshadowed by the specter of failure. Yet, amidst the depths of despair, a glimmer of hope emerged in the form of a revolutionary idea that would catapult Ponzi into the annals of infamy. In 1919, he stumbled upon the concept of international reply coupons, igniting a spark of inspiration that would give birth to his eponymous scheme. With the world ravaged by the aftermath of World War I, Ponzi saw an opportunity to exploit the fluctuations in currency exchange rates, setting the stage for his audacious gambit. The rise of a titan. With the wheels of his schemes set in motion, Ponzi embarked on a meteoric rise to prominence, his charisma and magnetism captivating the hearts and minds of investors far and wide. As word of his extraordinary returns spread like wildfire, little did they know that Ponzi was not paying investors with real profits from legitimate investments, but from the funds of new investors as he recruited them. He repeated this over and over, collecting huge sums of investors' money. Legions of eager investors flocked to pledge their fortunes to his cause, oblivious to the looming specter of catastrophe lurking just beyond the horizon. Buoyed by the intoxicating allure of success, Ponzi basked in the adulation of adoring crowds, his name whispered in reverent tones by those who hailed him as a financial maestro. the illusion shattered. As doubts began to simmer within the ranks of financial analysts and journalists, Ponzi's facade of invincibility began to crumble, revealing the hollow core of deceit that lay at its heart. Investigations soon uncovered the grim reality behind Ponzi's grandiose claims, exposing his scheme for what it truly was: a house of cards built upon a foundation of lies. With the Boston Post's damning exposés casting a pall over his empire, Ponzi's reign of deception came crashing down in a spectacular crescendo of chaos and despair. The success of Charles Ponzi's scheme can be attributed to several psychological factors that played on the emotions and cognitive biases of his investors. Understanding these psychological aspects sheds light on why people were fooled by his scam. Social proof. Ponzi's early investors were often friends, family members, or acquaintances who vouched for the legitimacy of his scheme. Seeing others around them making money created a sense of social proof, leading more people to invest without conducting thorough due diligence. Fear of missing out. Ponzi capitalized on investors' fear of missing out on an opportunity to make quick and substantial profits. The promise of high returns within a short period created a sense of urgency and compelled individuals to invest before it was too late. Trust in authority. Ponzi presented himself as a successful and knowledgeable businessman, gaining the trust of his investors. Many believed that his expertise and confidence in the scheme were indicators of its legitimacy, leading them to overlook any red flags or doubts. Confirmation. Bias. Once individuals had invested in Ponzi's scheme, they tended to seek out information that confirmed their belief in its legitimacy while disregarding or rationalizing any contradictory evidence. This confirmation bias reinforced their commitment to the investment and made it difficult for them to consider the possibility of being deceived. Greed and overconfidence. Investors were driven by the prospect of high returns and often ignored warning signs or skepticism in pursuit of profits. Their greed and overconfidence in Ponzi's ability to deliver on his promises clouded their judgment and led them to overlook potential risks. Lack of financial literacy. Many of Ponzi's investors were not well versed in financial matters or investment principles. They were easily swayed by Ponzi's persuasive tactics and failed to critically evaluate the feasibility of his claims or the sustainability of the scheme. Emotional manipulation. Ponzi employed emotional tactics, such as appealing to investors' desires for financial security and prosperity, to manipulate their decision-making. By tapping into their emotions, he was able to elicit trust and confidence, making it easier to deceive them. Overall, the success of Ponzi's scheme can be attributed to a combination of psychological factors, including social proof, fear of missing out, trust in authority, confirmation bias, greed and overconfidence, lack of financial literacy, and emotional manipulation. These factors converged to create a perfect storm that allowed Ponzi to deceive thousands of investors and perpetrate one of the most notorious financial scams in history. As we conclude our journey through the life of Charles Ponzi, we thank you for joining us on this exploration of ambition, deception, and the consequences of unchecked greed. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for riveting tales from history, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest releases.